So this idea, by the way, you mentioned his overall stats. If you're worried about tail off, his last two complete seasons, 3.28 and 3.17, and the season wedged in between was the shortened season because of the Rona. He went 8-1, won the Cy Young with a 1.63 ERA.
Is that good?
Yes. Okay. And he was also fourth in MVP voting. So there you go. Okay. All right.
Can I throw this out there too? Because I thought this was important because I had to look this up. His earliest free agency is 2025. Yes. So you have, if we're talking about trading for Shane Bieber, I don't know if it will happen. You know, it's probably a very small percentage. But if we're talking about this, I think it's important to know that you wouldn't be trading for a guy that's going to be a free agent after 2023.
He's still got 2 more years. This is his first year of arbitration. Still got 2 more years of arbitration. He's 26 years old. All fantastic things. But, Mike, as you know, all of these fantastic things mean, holy crap, would you have to deal a lot for him?
Yes.
So this idea was first suggested by Lone Star Ball, and so very much appreciate Adam J. Morris. And this idea is, what would it take to trade for Shane Bieber? Now, one of the ideas there, too, is MLB Pipeline now says that the Texas Rangers have one of the top farm systems, and they have the number 7 team prospect rankings. What would you have to trade? I'm going to throw this out there. Tell me what you think.
All right.
Cole Winn or Owen White to start.
All right.
2 of the following: Josh Smith, Ezekiel Duran, Dustin Harris, and Justin Foscue.
All right.
And then Maximo Acosta or Luis Angel Acuna. And even then, you would still have to throw in 2 more pitching prospects from guys like Zach Kent, AJ Alexi, Chad Bradford, Yuri Rodriguez, Avery Weens, and Cole Reagans.
Okay, that's a lot, but I do it because Shane Bieber is, we just talked about, you'd have him through the 2024 season.
So 3 years.
3 years. He's 26 years old. So you would,
Can we stop down on that part for a second?
He's 26 years old.
Right. Like, I remember when Shane Bieber won that Cy Young, and it seemed like, oh, this is a dude who came out of nowhere. He must have just like popped up on the scene. And I imagine that he was in maybe like 29 or 30. No, he's 26 now, and he's already, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong here, he's already like an ace prospect, like type guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's not like a number 1 starter. He's an ace guy.
Yes. Besides, he's in the category of Garrett Cole, of Walker Buehler, of Jacob deGrom, of Max Scherzer. Now, you can say all those guys are better. I'm not going to argue that, but he's in the conversation of the best pitcher in all of baseball. So because I would be trading for the best pitcher in all of baseball, I'd be depleting my farm system. I would be on all of those guys you named. Obviously, for me, Cole Winn is the most interesting because I think he can be a number 2 to Jack Leiter. But now, all of a sudden, Jack Leiter, most likely when he comes up at sometime in 2023, is you wouldn't have the pressure of, hey, he needs to be the ace. What you'd be looking at is hopefully he's like your 1B.
Yeah.
Because Shane Bieber is in his prime doing unbelievable things. So
Bieber.
I would trade all of that.
Okay.
I would even, if they said, well, we don't want this guy, we want Josh Young, because he's, now I don't know, in that case, they just signed their third baseman to a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
In Jose Ramirez. So they'd have to be looking at Josh Young playing first base or corner outfield or something. And he's close enough to being ready that position value does matter at third base for the Guardians. So I would do it. I would do all of those things to get Shane Bieber. It doesn't mean I'm winning 90 games this year, Texas Ranger fans. But what it would mean if you did that, and I have no clue how interested the Guardians are in making a trade of Shane Bieber right now, but if it came about, I would give up a lot of my major prospects, but I would not. I don't think I would. I don't think I'd give up Jack Leiter in a deal.
That was going to be my next question, but real quick, somebody said it's too early to make such a move. Well, this is just a discussion point to be sure. But let's just say you move on down the season and this team is, I'm going to say 40-32.
Wait, did you take that as too early in the season or too early in the process of the build?
No,
because that's how I read it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think this addresses both of them.
Okay.
Let's just say it's too early for the season, for sure. It's been one game. Of course, Cleveland is on pace to go 0-162, but it's just one game.
Look,
but
I mean, you got to tear it down in that case.
Let's say you get to that point, and the Rangers are 40-32.
And the Guardians are the opposite?
Yeah, 30-42 or something like that. And you're like, man, maybe it can move forward, because I get the idea that it's too early in the rebuild. But what if you start to see that you're not going to win the World Series? But what if you start to see the idea that you can make the playoffs in 2024 is now maybe 2023, or maybe you think you can grab one of those wild card spots? This strikes you as the Cole Hamels-esque move, where the move was made for Cole Hamels, no doubt, like for that moment, but it was really made because you had him for the next couple of years. And so
Cole was already 30, I believe.
Exactly. And so this will be more expensive, but it could be even more lucrative in terms of if you can tag on those extra 3 years of relevancy. I wonder if the Rangers got off to a really good start if they were like, hey, this was always the plan. Like, we were always either going to go buy more players or make a big swing. Why not do it now?
I think that is the plan.
And you've said that for a while.
See what this little base can do. Like, I mean, if Chris Woodward, if Mike, you've talked at length that the front offices of analytics believe the analytics will work no matter what.
Right.
And
there's no humans playing baseball.
Now, Mike, what I'm interested to know is, do they ever factor talent value? Like, how much does talent value factor into, but this should give us more of this? And so that's where I do think that they're looking at it going, this is the small step we took. I think they wanted to add another pitcher in the offseason based on the simple fact that Chris Woodward even told us beforehand, we're not done. I still think they wanted to add more. Maybe they didn't get the rights to those things. But I think that a midseason trade, or maybe even an earlier than midseason trade, is their option to continue building this thing. And maybe it's not a big name. Maybe it is continuing to gather ready-made prospects that are on that at that point. But adding an ace to this rotation is something they have to do.
Here's the thing. I don't think that's enough for Cleveland to say yes.
Because
they have control over them forever. So you have to really overwhelm them. And I'm afraid overwhelming them at this point would be, you don't go Cole Winn or Owen White, you go Jack Leiter.